Okay. Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Hagerstown. Thank you for joining us this morning. You are right where you belong. Look at this glorious morning. Why ask for anything more? I follow where my heart leads. I walk through this open door. I've always been a seeker, felt I was alone. Now in this room full of smiling faces, I know I found my home. This is where joy lives, this is where love is. It is a place where I am strong. This is where eyes meet, where kindred hearts beat. I am right where I belong. Here in this place I'm accepted. I'm welcome just as I am. I'm ready to be inspired, to reach out a helping hand. This is a new beginning. I trust in the mystery. Now that my heart is open, there's no place I'd rather be. This is where joy lives, this is where love is. This is a place where I am strong. This is where eyes meet, where kindred hearts beat. I am right where I belong. This is where joy lives, this is where love is. This is a place where I am strong. This is where eyes meet, where kindred hearts beat. I am right where I belong. I am right where I belong. I am right where I belong.
Sorry, I can't clap and do this at the same time, but my celebration was true. There we go. Welcome to Unity of Hagerstown, my friends, and for those watching us virtually, we're so happy that you are joining us today. We have a quote here. This was actually for last week, and I didn't take it off, from Martin Luther King Day, and it still holds true today. Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. Right? Good one. So we're going to begin with a prayer. I invite you to join me in this sacred activity, if you will. If you're comfortable closing your eyes or just gazing down at the floor, this is an inner journey, a journey from our head to our hearts. Taking a nice deep breath, and on the exhale, we relax our body. Another nice deep belly breath, and on the exhale, we open our hearts. We let go of anything that is blocking our hearts to this present moment. Whether it's a to-do list, whether it's a concern, we become fully present here and now in this place, right here. And in this place, God is present within us, all around us. And as we breathe in that presence of God, we breathe out peace. We give thanks for coming together on this beautiful morning. We give thanks for this community, and so it is. Amen. If you will, I invite you to join me in our mission statement. Unity of Hagerstown, a welcoming community, embraces spiritual awakening through affirmative prayer and meditation, creating a positive path of abundant living for all. And now we'll have the reading of the Daily Word with Diane Morgan. And the Daily Word is, of course, an inspirational reading material that you can get in hard copy or in your email inbox if you stand between the trees.
Forest. Today, Sunday, January 26th, the word is generous. Keeping my heart open elevates my experience of generosity. If I give begrudgingly, fearful, or of not having enough, I'm not truly being generous. There is a joy and trust in being generous. There is a joy in knowing there is no lack at the level of spirit. And my generous impulses is my way of demonstrating my faith in this truth. I place my trust in the spiritual truth that as I give, I also receive. Generosity is a spiritual practice, a commitment to fully participating in the flow of life. As I give generously, I receive the richness of grace, love, and peace. I relax into the flow of synchronicity and receive unexpected blessings. Generosity is the gift I give myself. The reading is from Corinthians 2. The point is this: the one who sows sparingly will also reap sparingly. The one who sows bountifully will also reap bountifully. And join me in the affirmation. I give with an open heart. I am generous. And from our open hearts, let's repeat. I give with an open heart. I am generous.
Thank you, Diane. And now we have an opportunity to display generosity in welcoming each other and in generosity of love, maybe generosity of hugs too. However, if you are not a hugger, please be advised that this group is. If you do not wish to have a hug, put your hand out, okay? Or maybe even a namaste. We will honor that. And also, I've been informed by our beautiful AV team that during this meet and greet of your neighbors, the first couple rows on up will be on camera, be streaming. Okay, so if you do not want to be on camera, make sure you stay towards the back. I say that because I would be hanging out in the back, tell you the truth. Can I just do everything from there? Okay. And a gentle reminder, this is just a greeting. It's not a time to share a life story. We have time after the service for more extended conversations. So let's greet our neighbors. Oh, hey, Facebook friends, I'm greeting them. We love you. We appreciate you. We see the light that you are. Thank you so much for joining us. If you'd like to support this community, it is greatly appreciated. And you can do so by going to Zephy, is our new platform, Zephy.com, I believe. Thank you, thank you.
Celebrating all that I am, all that I have. I am celebrating all I am becoming today. I am celebrating all that I am, all that I have. Yes, I am celebrating all I am becoming today. You are celebrating all that you are, all that you have. You are celebrating all you are becoming today. You are celebrating all that you are, all that you have. You are celebrating all you are becoming today. We are, yes, we are celebrating all that we are, all that we have. We are celebrating we are becoming today. We are celebrating all that we are, all that we have. We are celebrating all we are becoming today. All we are becoming today. All we are becoming today.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. We are celebrating. Yeah, I feel like celebrating because it's good to be here. It's good to see each and every one of you. Last week, it was lonely for me on Sunday. Oh, oh, I dealt. Okay, we are in the midst of this series today on Divine Audacity, which is a book written by Reverend Linda Martella Whitsett, a Unity minister, and she is exploring how to be the light of the world. You are the light of the world, even if you don't realize that. This book lets us know how we can go about bringing that light into our lives on a daily basis. And that's through developing 12 powers that Charles Fillmore, Unity's co-founder, just kind of discovered within each of us. These powers are ours to develop on a spiritual level or a personal level. For instance, the power of love. Right? We may love another. That's a personal level development. And when we move it to a spiritual level, we have compassion and love for all of creation, right? Okay. So, thing to remember, God is principle, not personality. So when we align with God as principle, then all the qualities that the divine has are within us, and we can activate them as well. Martella Whitsett tells us, whenever I shift attention from my personal self toward the infinite self that is God, which is the real self, I become what God is. Now, if this feels a little uncomfortable, because it could, you can just think that you have the qualities that God has. Maybe that's a little bit more comfortable. So today we're going to look at two of the powers, will and imagination. So we're going to move pretty quickly through them. However, if you want a deeper dive, come to our book discussion Wednesdays on Zoom at 6:30. There we go. So each of these powers have a physical location, like the chakras, within the body that we can focus on and through meditation, through prayer, to develop them more fully in our spiritual life. They also have a disciple, one of Jesus's disciples, representing the power that Fillmore saw a connection with, and we're going to explore those a little bit. They also have a color assigned to them, which came after Fillmore, and I don't know, it's just become a Unity tradition, so we're going to go with it. Okay. Okay. So, will and imagination. So, have you ever wondered about God's will? I mean, we're familiar with Jesus saying, "Not my will, but thine be done." For most of us, this may bring an image of like a sky god or a puppet master to mind, kind of controlling things, pulling the strings, a God that's in charge of everything. It must be God's will when tragedy strikes. It must be God's will that we got flooded out. It must be God's will that my football team won. Right? Okay. Okay. So when we shift our thoughts about the divine from a personality or something that's created in our image, right? We make it into our image, into principle, that one power, one presence throughout all that is, and see that heaven may not be a location, but a state of consciousness within us, that field of potentiality where there are infinite possibilities, then we can come to understand that with an expanded consciousness, we can tap into this field and choose one possibility to bring forth into our life. That's the creative principle, if you will. We become one with principle, the principle of faith, the principle of understanding, the principle of will, the power of choice. And that's when we are actually bringing heaven to earth. That is when we are shining our light. Martella Whitsett tells us that no condition or circumstance is sent to us by the will of any superior sentient being. God cannot require us to do anything, and God cannot be a doer of anything, because God is not like a person. God, the one mind and power throughout the cosmos, is eternal life, infinite love, ever-present wisdom, and all spiritual power. Therefore, your will is the fulfillment of life, love, and wisdom, and all spiritual power. In the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus offered the words, "Not my will, but thine be done," I think it's in recognition that this was a path that the personal will did not want to travel. However, it may be something that we're nudged to do, that Jesus was nudged to do for the higher, the greater good, if you will. So a higher purpose is reached when we follow that inner guidance, even though our personal will may not want to do this. Spiritual will is not submitting my personal will to an invisible superhuman being, but being told through any other person what I should or should not do. Spiritual will is our power of choice, commitment, and willingness. Those three aspects. A few years ago in Panama City Beach in Florida, 80 people came together to rescue 9 people who had gotten caught in a riptide. It was a Saturday evening in July, and the parents on the shore saw 2 of their young sons screaming for help about 100 yards into the ocean. A nearby couple attempted to rescue the boys, but they got caught up in the riptide as well. Several family members jumped into the ocean to swim out to them, but they got caught up in the riptide as well. One nearby surfer was able to tow one of the women who were caught up to shore by using his surfboard, but there were still 9 others in the water. There was no lifeguard on duty. The police had been notified, but they were waiting for a rescue boat, and the situation was becoming more dire by the second. The victims had already been struggling to keep their heads above water for over 20 minutes, and they were exhausted. Beachgoers started yelling at the onlookers to form a human chain, and dozens of people, several of which said they didn't know how to swim, linked arms and went out and rescued those in the water. The power of choice to step forward and make a difference is our power on a human level, but it's also our power on a spiritual level as well. When we shift the way we see things, when we begin to see the light within each other, we begin to see the divine throughout all creation, we are shifting the world. This is a choice to see it this way. It's our ability to select one possibility among many. We can choose to see each other in the light. At the heart of all of humanity, there is kind of an invitation, kind of a discontent, if you will, that leads us to more intentional spiritual living. This discontent brings forth a desire for connection, for communion, for growth. And this desire must go through the gate of will. It's not enough just to have the desire. We must choose to follow it. Every thought, every word, every action is a choice. If will follows that inner wisdom and the power of imagination, we can achieve our heart's desires. For instance, we may desire better health, but without the will to make the healthy choices for our body, we may not attain it. Even if we imagine it, we may not attain it. It still requires the choices. We may desire prosperity, whatever that looks like for you, but without the will to follow the guidance that leads to it, we may not attain it. Charles Fillmore tells us, the simple statement, I will to be well, gathers the forces of mind and body about the central idea of wholeness, and the will holds the center, just so long as the I am continues its affirmation. The I am is that Christ consciousness within us. And I don't believe Charles Fillmore is saying constantly repeating an affirmation, the words, but holding the thought that we are whole already in divine mind. So Matthew is the disciple that's symbolic of this power of will. First known as Levi, his name was changed when he willingly gave up his money-getting ways. I don't know what to call it, but to follow Jesus. And it kind of lets us know, gives us a clue that in order to activate this power of will, we must withdraw to a certain degree our focus on the outer and focus within. So choice is one aspect of will. The next aspect is commitment, staying on a particular path, being committed to saying yes to your inner guidance. And this is what harnesses spiritual power. Marcella Whitsett tells us we free our brains from vacillating unproductively. The energy that earlier dissipated in indecision now is directed toward being on the path. How many times have I wasted in indecision? Yes. So I love this quote. I should have it tattooed on some. An interesting thing about commitment, according to the book, is that it erases the past because you are focused on the present and the next step. I will follow this path. It's not a promise. It's a decree that you are making to yourself and the universe. I will it be done. Commitment pulls us back on the path on those days we don't feel like meditating. Commitment pulls us back when we fall back into stinking thinking, right? Commitment helps us when we just don't feel like it. We do it anyway. We decree that we will have a gratitude practice. And so it is. We set time aside daily to make sure that it happens. We will to be the light of the world. And so we let our light shine because we are willing. Willingness is the fuel for commitment. We are willing to do this, so we commit. A willing spirit is the epitome of spiritual willpower, the book tells us. Willingness is the antidote for willfulness. Now, a certain amount of willfulness is necessary to get through our day. We have to be able to get out of bed and move around. That's using our willpower. It's kind of a determination, I guess. But when willfulness is used for personal gain, I would say, instead of allowing our higher self to guide, then we tend to, the ideas that come to us are blocked. Stubborn, willful, resistant states of mind, Fillmore says, congest the life flow. Yeah. So let there be a little openness to life. Let there be a little willingness. Let there be cooperation and ease as we're navigating this wonderful thing of life. With willingness comes a letting go of attachment, a letting go of the need to control. And our human personal will is then merged with our divine will, and that's when we feel peace, when we have harmony in our lives. Not necessarily in every relationship, but we feel harmonious, okay? It's not like all of a sudden the world is right, but we see it right. So, the power of will is located in the frontal lobe next to the power of understanding, and this is the area that of the brain that controls cognitive skills. You can probably check with Jeff for more information than that. I think it's language and judgment as well. And will and understanding work together as will carries out the understanding that we gain. So we may receive an aha moment, we may get insight into a situation, and understanding dawns in our thoughts. Then we use the power of will to make choices to incorporate and follow through with this understanding. Now here's for instance. I recently read a book that I think I shared before that I read this book because it was so powerful for me. What if we get it right? It's on climate change. Ayanna Elizabeth Thomas, I think. Anyway, you can look it up. It's a fantastic book. And I gained insight and understanding on what we as a society can do to help the escalating environmental crisis. But that doesn't go into play until I do something about it, right? The understanding is there, but until I choose to lobby at the Maryland General Assembly, until I choose to do something, it's not doing anything for me. I'm not doing anything for it. So we may have an understanding that we are one with all creation. We are one with each other. But there is a great choice that awaits us every day, whether we go around carving holes in others because we have been so painfully carved ourselves, or whether we let Spirit play its song through our tender experience, enabling us to listen as well to the miraculous music coming through others. Love that quote too. If you want to read a spiritual book this year, I would highly recommend this one. So just a little willingness is required. The color associated with the power of will is silver, to go with the gold of understanding, silver and gold. A willingness to see something different, to do something that's you're being prompted to do, to be open. Just a little willingness will set into place a new, or can set into place a new thought pattern that can transform your life and can transform the world. A Course in Miracles tells us He will answer in proportion to your willingness to hear His voice. Now, while I may not enjoy the pronoun, while I would prefer it to be said differently, I understand what this is saying. We have to be willing to hear that guidance from within. Okay? Okay, so that concludes will. We're going to move on to imagination. It's going to be quicker, don't worry. Okay. So imagination is our ability, our power to paint a picture of a possibility. And by holding on to that idea and really feeling it and living it before it's manifested, it essentially becomes our living reality. It's our power of conception, vision, and embodiment. So, here's imagination, here's our quote. With our conceiving power, we catch an idea, which is to say we make it our own, filtering it through our human consciousness. The character of the consciousness determines the quality of its imagining. Okay. So if we are fearful, then our consciousness imagines the worst. If we are drawing upon the collective consciousness and have not focused our thoughts, or have focused instead on what's wrong in the world, the injustices of the world, we are actually contributing to them. That energy is being contributed there. So I have a story, this is a true story, about Nathan Sharansky, who is still alive, I believe, and is still working in a high-level position in the government of Israel. He spent 9 years in the USSR, back when it was the USSR, after being accused of spying. He was a child prodigy of chess, earlier. And he spent half of those years in solitary confinement, and he began playing mental chess against himself, which is pretty amazing, I think, to begin with. And then he figured, I might as well just go and become world champion one day. The guards would come by and, and maybe drop off food or whatever, and he's like, don't bother me, I'm busy. And they would look at him like he's crazy because he wasn't doing anything that they could see. But in 1996, after he was released, Sharansky did indeed beat the world champion chess player. So the power of imagination is unbelievable. It is believable. So we can imagine the best. We can put this power into play in our lives. We can see harmony in our relationships instead of conflict. We can see plenty instead of lack. We can see wholeness instead of dis-ease. Visualized healing, I guess is the term, is widely accepted now in for many patients as treatment. And athletes as well use that visualization in order to improve their game. And this is using the power of imagination on a human level. What if we aligned ourselves with our wonderful, compassionate heart and brought in this power of imagination to imagine a world that works for all, to see it already here? A Course in Miracles says, today I will accept the truth about myself. I will arise in glory and allow the light in me to shine upon the world throughout the day. What if we used our imagination to really see how that would be, to arise in glory, to accept the truth of who we are as this beautiful expression of spirit, to allow the light to shine. So Martilla Whitsett tells us what can be when we hold a potent idea in mind. Develop it by imagining it, fleshed out into manifestation, and feel the thrill of fulfillment while incubating the idea. So if we want health, we hold the idea of wholeness in mind and feel the cells of your body. Feel it. Feel what energy and what vitality is there. And if we want prosperity, we hold that idea of abundance in mind and feel the way a prosperous life looks like for you. Maybe it's just more peace in your life, because we are connected to this source within. And so we can lean into feeling the security of a prosperous life and how that would be. We're told to hold the vision of our lives a few moments every day so that we can keep it in the forefront, the picture in the forefront. See it in our mind's eye as unfolding. Journal about it, talk about it, write about it. Engage your feeling nature as far as you can. And know that if there's anything from the past for which you feel remorse or guilt, we can use our power of imagination for closure there too, if we're unable to find closure. Maybe the person has passed. We can revise or revision the past. We can tell ourselves a different story, one that breaks the chains of habitual assumptions. So, the last aspect of imagination is embodiment. We act as if. It's the power we have to claim our divine identity, to be a living expression of love, of wisdom, of understanding. Martella Whitsitt tells us embodiment is the pinnacle of creation when we're feeling it. So, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word became flesh. We embody what we are holding in mind and the thoughts and words that we hold as well. Act as if. The Apostle Paul wrote, "But we all with unveiled face, beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are transformed into the same image from glory to glory." We see things in the mirror of our mind first, and then we are transformed. It comes manifest into our lives. The color for this power is a light sky blue. You can picture beautiful sky with clouds. And what do we do with the clouds when we're just spending an afternoon looking at them? We try to see shapes in them, right? We use our imagination. So we can use this power to picture the shape of our own lives. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, tells us the highest and best work of the imagination is the marvelous transformation that it works in character. Imagine you are one with the principle of good and you will become truly good. To imagine oneself perfect fixes the idea of perfection in the invisible mind substance, and the mind forces at once begin the work of bringing forth perfection. And my friends, perfection here is wholeness. You are whole and complete just as you are. So I invite you to join me in an affirmation, and then we'll move into a period of meditation. If you will, join me together. My imagination empowers me to envision my good. Okay, so let's take a moment and settle in, shifting your position if necessary, so that you're very comfortable. And again, I invite you to close your eyes or gaze softly down at the floor, paying attention to your breath. We're going to bring our attention to the power of imagination, to the physical location in the frontal lobe of the brain. No, not that, sorry, let me backtrack that. It's actually the third eye. Gazing softly at your third eye from within. Picturing the sky blue, filling that area. Seeing it become more vibrant with each breath. As we activate this power, this imaging power. And now I invite you to imagine what a world would look like that works for everybody, that works for all creation. What does that look like? And let your imagination create a picture as we move into the silence of this world, where harmony prevails. There's equitable sharing of resources, where Mother Earth is respected. Paint this picture of a world that works for all, vividly, in as much detail as you can. And then bring in the emotional nature. How would it feel to live in this world? The ease, the comfort, the goodness. And then if you like, bring this power of imagination into your own life, here and now. Painting a picture of your heart's desire. As we go into the silence, continue to do so. With detail, with feeling, in the silence. And as we draw this time of reflection and meditation to a close, know that you have this power to call on at any time. And I invite you to sit gently, if you like, with this next song or join in the singing.
I am willing to open my heart. I am willing to be the change I wish to see. And I know that it's all love. I am willing to listen till that still small voice in me. I am willing to open my mind. I am willing to be the change I wish to see. And I know that it's all good. I am willing to listen to that still small voice in me. I am willing to open my life. I am willing see. And I know, yes, I know, I can trust. I am willing to listen to that still small voice in me. Yes, I'm willing to listen to that still small voice in me.
Thank you, Brent and Patty. So I'm going to invite you to join me, if you will, in our prosperity affirmation. Together, prosperity flows freely through our church, nourishing our ministry while enriching the lives we touch. We are grateful stewards of all that is given, using it wisely to create a legacy of love and service. And while we have the offering, we have another song.
A mighty river is flowing, bringing life to the land. Abundance flows as I fully extend from head to heart to hands. Through me, Spirit move through me, from head to heart to hands. Through Spirit move through me, from head to heart to hands, from head to heart to hands. Well, I share from the bounty because I understand. But blessings flow when I simply let it roll, from head to heart to hands. Through me, Spirit move through me, from head to heart to hands. Through me, Spirit move through me, from head to heart to hands, from head to heart to hands. Through me, through from head to heart to hands. Through me, Spirit move through me, from head to heart to hands, from head to heart to hands, from head to heart to hands, from head to heart to hands.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Okay, we do have a few announcements. I will try to make this quick, and know that there are flyers for pretty much everything in the table back there, and you can always go to unityhagerstown.org. Imagine that. Okay, so Women of Unity are meeting today. If you're interested, this is the first meeting, and it's really to determine through a walking stick circle. Talking stick. Well, it could be walking. I don't know. Oh, it's the first women's group, and it will be a discernment process in hearing and listening to what everybody has on their hearts about this group and how it might be. And that's immediately after the service, after our snack and coffee time, and then I'm sure Amy will put chairs in a circle. Okay. Mondays, we have chair yoga at 2:30, traditional yoga at 6 p.m. It's $10 drop-in. It was, I think, $50 for 6 weeks. I'm not sure if she's going to continue it after for the 6-week period that she's doing it, so I can't say. Right now, it's $10 drop-in. We'll put it that way. This book study on Divine Audacity is continuing on Zoom at 6:30. If you're interested, it's okay if you just can only make 1 or 2. I'm okay with that because if you read the chapters, you'll be able to join in the discussion. And we've been having good discussions. Sound bath every month at 6 p.m. with Sabrina Unruh. Unruh is her last name now. She got married recently. And that's the first Wednesday of every month. We are having our knitters and crocheters get together for prayer shawls of that wonderful ministry at 1 p.m. the first Friday of the month. Super Bowl Sunday, we're going to have a potluck. If you want to bring soup, that's okay with me. But you can also bring a can of soup that we'll give to a local food pantry. Okay, and that's followed by Dances of Universal Peace, which is a beautiful, sacred time of singing and movement. And then we have some outreach opportunities. And I have a sign-up sheet. Okay, so the first one is Unity has been invited to host the HARC meeting in February. HARC is Hagerstown Area Religious Council, and there'll be about probably 40 people here, mainly clergy from the local area churches. And the hosting church provides lunch for them. So if you would like to provide a soup, I would like to have maybe 2 soups, 1 vegetarian, 1 not, a couple desserts, and a couple salads. Wouldn't that be a nice lunch? So if you're providing one of these, if you sign up for one of these, it's going to be for about 20 people. You know, maybe 2 dozen cupcakes or whatever. And then the second opportunity we have is through the Circles group of Washington County. You may not be familiar with this, but this is the organization that takes people who want to move out of poverty and gives them training for a year. So they also invite the area churches to provide a meal when they can, and I did sign us up because our soup kitchen has enough food to cover the soup kitchen this month. So if you're planning on making something for the soup kitchen, you can sign up for something here instead. We have, for the soup kitchen, it's clean out the freezer day, okay? It's leftover day for the soup kitchen. So I'm going to pass this around. If you want to provide something for HARC or the Circles or are able to serve, and then for the soup kitchen, just it's serving only, okay, if that makes sense. So here we go. Thank you, Arnie. Okay, whoops. And then, let's see. We will need to move the chairs after the service. If you're able and willing to help with that, we just stack them on the sides for the yoga tomorrow. And then also one more thing that I'm very excited by, and this is a 10-month program, not quite a year, a 10-month program meeting once a month, facilitated by Reverend Stephanie Tsai, for creating the beloved community. When I visited her church in the fall, I was bowled over by what they have done there. It's just, I love this community, and I feel like this is a very loving, supportive community. You walked into that church, and it was a whole nother level, I'm telling you, and I want that here, you know? And so how we do that is by, as many as possible, go to this free program. Unity's going to cover the cost for this, because we want everybody to come. It's via Zoom once a month for beginning in March. There are a few other conditions on this too. You have to take a spiral dynamics workshop if you're not familiar with spiral dynamics, and that's something separate than the second Tuesday of the month. And you have to buy the book, okay? That's it. The book is by Jim Lockard, Creating the Beloved Community. So if you're interested in that, we'll have more information as the day approaches, but I hope you consider it and take a flyer and think about it. So at this time, we're going to say goodbye to our beautiful virtual friends. We love you. We appreciate you. We see the light that you are. Yes, we do.